Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for, this is your mid-monthly August 2025 reading. You have this Strength and Success card and this Peace and Serenity card. We're going to do a Celtic cross, by the way, for this set of readings because I felt like it. And but where I was going with that is I do think it's an amazing time for Virgo to create more peace in their life. Especially if you don't have any peace, then I would say, doing things to eliminate anything that is stealing your peace would be a very good idea. Or doing more things that bring you more peace would be a very good idea as well. So there's a lot of that going on. I should have said, I knew the star was going to come up in this reading. Big theme for you in August, since the beginning of August, has been recognition, right? So, I'm pretty sure I probably said it in one of your August readings that I've already done, that it's an amazing time for you to stand out, get attention, all those other things. And so if you want love, you could, or anything. I said love because of these two cards here. But anything you want, it doesn't matter. I think that it's an amazing time for you to stand out. But now, I think the trick for Virgo, and I said this in one of your, one of your more recent readings, I think the trick for you is to, you need to make sure that you're not trying to be a Virgo, right? You need to make sure that you're not trying to be perfect. Basically, that's the part you need to avoid, is perfectionism, which is hard for Virgo right now because, again, South Node in Virgo, plus we're going to have an eclipse in Virgo at the end of September, right? So eclipse energy, I feel we can feel before the eclipse for sure. So even though we're not at the eclipse yet, doesn't matter. I think we could be kind of picking up on that energy a little bit. And so I think perfectionism will get in your way. But I feel like being messy is a good idea. Now, your first card is how you enter into the reading, and you have the High Priestess, which actually, again, is pretty good. The High Priestess is your opposite sign, Pisces. I think this is the energy you should be embracing. And I say this, maybe I've said this to you before, but I do think it's very beneficial for us to learn our opposite sign. I am a Pisces. I definitely am messy. I need to learn Virgo, right? More. I could probably have a little bit more organization. I have a bunch of systems. It's probably the ADHD that doesn't help me personally, but I have a lot of systems, set up around my house. They drive my brother crazy because he's actually a Virgo rising, right? So, drives him absolutely nuts. That I have a plate that sits on my kitchen table, but it's my bacon plate. I need it there for bacon, right? I get it. He doesn't, but whatever. So, I have a bunch of systems that are set up, but I could probably get more organized is where I was going with that. And, again, I think for you could probably learn to, be less of a perfectionist at this time. I mean, literally the astrology is triggering you to make this happen. South Node in Virgo, eclipse in Virgo, I think both of those things right now are going to make Virgo need to be more messy and things like that. So there you go. Your crossing energy is the Six of Swords. I feel like you could be having a little bit of a breakthrough, but, not just this month is what I feel. This is a monthly reading, but I would say the universe doesn't wear a watch. Things happen when they're going to happen. I feel you are going through a breakthrough, which means that maybe it's not happening exactly right this second, but I think as we get through this month and go through next month, September, I think this is probably something that will happen more. It's like you're going to see the results of the breakthrough maybe more in September. These people are still in choppy waters, And so the Six of Swords is a good card, but, again, they're still in choppy waters. So they have to get to the other side. And I kind of feel like that's where you're at. The other thing is it's like, imagine if they were blind, and if they were, if they were sitting in these choppy waters for a while. It's like, and if they couldn't see the other side, and this is kind of a weird message, but this is what's popping into my head, so that's why I'm saying it, is it's almost like I'm not calling you blind, but I'm saying it's almost like you are blind to the fact that there is another side. You are going to create the improvement. And so sometimes I think if we're sitting in choppy waters for too long, it's kind of like, is this ever going to change? Am I always going to feel like this? Or, am I ever going to get to the other side? And the good news is, yes, I definitely feel that you're getting to the other side. You just don't see it yet. And so everything feels the same is what I'm trying to say. It's almost like that's what I feel. Is that you feel like everything is the same right now. So that's why it feels like things aren't changing, but they are. If that makes sense. So, I don't know. There you go. Next, in the area of what's on your mind, you have the Justice card. Justice is justice. I think some of you could be thinking about justice or getting justice in some area of your life. In your very near future position, you have this card that says Scales of Balance. It's basically the same thing. It says find balance within yourself and things will balance out around you. So, a lot of you could just be balancing things out. I would say the positives of the eclipse and also the South Node in Virgo is like, it's a great time to balance things out. Great time to balance out your health. Great time to improve things, anything, right? Also, I would say, on top of all that, we have Pluto in Aquarius, by the way. I think something that people forget about Pluto in Aquarius, even though this right here represents Libra, I don't care. Pluto in Aquarius, I believe, is an amazing time to look at the evidence, right? And the Justice card is an amazing card for looking at the evidence. So even though Aquarius, Libra, whatever, I don't care. Again, the energy is really good for looking at the evidence of anything that you're doing. Meaning anything you're doing in life, are you getting a result? If the answer is yes, great, keep going. If the answer is no, stop and make a change or do something different, right? And so I think we're in a great time of getting the evidence and seeing the truth and all that other stuff. So there you go. Next, you have the Queen of Wands in your foundation. Again, I feel pretty good about this because I feel like you're willing to be bold and assertive. It's like, part of being willing to be messy is like the need to, take that small step. I am kind of like getting like small step, huge leap popping into my head. It's like, kind of like the whole moon landing thing, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. But I feel like this is like a small step that is actually leading to a big leap for you here, Virgo. And that's what I feel. Again, I'll give you a great example, and not to talk about myself here, but this channel, right? My mom literally came in. I was doing nothing with my life. My mom came into my room and she's like, why don't you start a tarot channel? And I literally started it that night, over 10 years ago now. And, it turned into this, right? It's like, that's what I mean. It's like some of you could be doing something like that. Where, like, to me, I never in a million years thought I would even be anywhere close to 1 million subscribers. Never even crossed my mind, right? And so it's like, to me, I was like, oh, I just needed something to do. It was just like a tiny little step. But it's led to this. So, again, I feel some of you, it's like you could be doing something that seems small right now. And I think that it's going to be very big for you in the future. And you just don't realize it yet. And, yeah, I mean, there you go. I think that a lot of you, that's what could be happening, is that you're, kind of taking a leap on something. Queen of Wands, she kind of does that. She's my card of learning as you go. So a lot of you, it's like you could just be in the space of like needing to learn as you go, which is fine. Next, in the area of the past or what you're moving past, you have this Enlightenment card and this Air Spirit card. Boring energy is what you're moving past. You have the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles in the past position can definitely be like a boring energy. So I feel that you could be just also being enlightened to better ways of doing things because you have the Star coming up as well. The Star is a great card of enlightenment. It's a great card of following a North Star. We'll talk about it in a minute. But the King of Pentacles, he kind of represents convention. So to me, having the King of Pentacles in a past position is probably a good thing because he is stuck doing things the same way over and over and over again, and he never does anything new or never tries anything new. So a lot of you could be trying something new here or doing things in a new way with the King of Pentacles, which I think is a good thing. He is also kind of like, like I said, he can be a little bit stuck in the past. So I think that part of the whole messiness thing is about being willing to innovate, right? Which is also Pluto in Aquarius. Speaking of Aquarius energy, you have this Air Spirit card, you have the Star card, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Aquarius shows up on the Wheel of Fortune. You might not only should you maybe look into Pisces energy, but maybe you should look more into Aquarius energy as well here, Virgo. And yes, you are a Virgo, but that doesn't matter. We have to work with what we have to work with, right? We have to work with the other signs sometimes. And it seems to me like there's something about that, like innovation, being innovative. Being innovative, you have to be messy. You have to make mistakes and things like that. This makes me want to pass out. You are not going to believe what this card says. It says Aquarius on it. It says rebellion. It says think outside the box and stretch the boundaries of what could be. You cannot make that shit up. I didn't even see that card there, Virgo. How crazy is that? So either you're dealing with an Aquarius. Some of you definitely could have an Aquarius coming in or a person with Aquarius in their chart, for sure. Obviously, that's all. Like, I don't even want to talk about Virgo. I want to talk about Aquarius in this reading. And again, it's like, obviously this is for a reason. So this card says stretch the boundaries of what could be. Yes, this is like, you have to, like I gave you the example of this channel. It's like, I never thought in a million years that this channel would end up where it has ended up in. Now, here's where you can learn from my mistakes, right? Is if I had known like what was possible with this channel, I probably would have done some things differently when I started it. And I probably would have grown a lot faster. When I first started, I was doing like 6-minute readings, like short, right? Not like 20-minute readings. And, I probably would have changed that. I would have gone live on my channel much sooner and like started doing lives much sooner. I would have put titles on my videos as well, things like that, thumbnails, just random stuff like that. They're like little things that I do now, right? I would have taken YouTube more seriously in general. Like now, for the past like 5 years now, every single morning I wake up, I learn something new about YouTube and I implement it, right? So that would be stretching the boundaries of what could be. It's like something small, but learning as much as you can about it so that you can expand it and make it bigger. I would have grown much faster if I did then what I do now, right? But obviously I just didn't know. So, I'm not saying I'm stuck in the past here, but, that's what I would be doing with this card. Is like, you might be doing something or working on something that has a lot of potential. You cannot make that up, Virgo. You have a Scales of Balance card. It says, find balance within yourself and you will balance things out around you. Yes, I think it's a good time to learn balance. We already talked about it. Next, in the very near future, you have the Star card. Yeah, focusing on innovation. The other thing about the Star card is that, one thing I do say about this card sometimes is that this card says, do not just dip your toes in the water. Sometimes with the Star card, I feel it's encouraging us to dive into the deep end. It's like saying you have to make the full commitment. You have to jump in and really kind of like go for it. Whatever it is that you're doing in your life or whatever it is you're trying to create or do, be, or have, right? You have to make that 110% commitment. And I think that would be a great thing for you to do here, Virgo, is like, again, if you're taking a small step, like maybe you should be taking a big leap instead. And because, the impact that will have will be beneficial. Again, I feel like saying learn from my mistakes as well, because again, is it really a mistake? No, like obviously I've grown to what I've grown to now, but, and obviously it had to happen that way. So, I'm not trying to hate on myself or anything, but, I could have probably learned some things faster and done some things faster, right? And so I think that, benefit from my knowledge. Maybe that's what I'll say to you is like, if you're doing something like working on a new project, there just might be more to it than you realize right now. And I would really, kind of like learn the ins and outs of something, especially if you're like, right now at this time with the astrology, like learning a new technology, if you're implementing new things in career or business, if you're learning something new, like those are the things that I would be expanding, if that makes sense, right? Next, in the area of the good, your outcome, you have this willing release card and this burst of magic card. Yes, I think, Virgo, I think I said this to you recently, that you need to believe in magic, like, not like literal magic, obviously, but I think you need to believe that good things can happen to you. And, again, I think if you do that, then good things will happen to you. Again, I like, trust me, like, I know a lot of people. It's like, I've known a lot of people that all they talk about is how miserable they are. Their lives are miserable. I know a lot of people that talk about how all the great things that happen to them and more great things happen to them. So you can say what you want, but, again, I think it works. Speaking, positivity into existence or speaking the life you want into existence. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying things that you don't have to change some things, but, I think, believing that you deserve good things is like half the battle, right? And that's what I would do here. Next, over the next few months, you have the Seven of Cups. Again, I think for some of you, it's like there's a small step you're taking that could open up a lot of options for you, right? Like again, starting this channel has opened up, so many things have come from me starting this channel. It's crazy. Like, never thought it would have happened, right? Podcast interviews, other channels, top secret channels that I run, that I have, the opportunity to teach YouTube on the weekends, like so much has happened because of it. And so, again, you never know what opportunities are going to come in based off of like, a small step you take. And again, I think that, this small step could really be a giant leap. You just don't realize it yet, Virgo. And that's what I would pay attention to here. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the Two of Cups and the Five of Swords. Some of you could be experiencing a separation, although I feel like there is new love coming in for you because you have the Page of Cups. Obviously, it could be a fixed sign. It could be an Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, Leo. It could be any sign, general reading, but those are the signs that stand out to me in this reading. I kind of feel like the Five of Swords really, like number one, I feel like it's encouraging a risk. Like if you want love, I feel like you should take a risk to put yourself out there with this card. Two of Cups is also usually someone who's different than your usual type. I think that you are the number one sign that would benefit from someone different than your usual type. Just based off your astrology, Virgo. I think a lot of you could be attracting a different type of person, and I feel this would be very good for you with these cards. You have the Page of Cups. Page of Cups could be a love offer. Again, this is coming up in the area of your future feelings, and the Page of Cups can be an admirer. So if you want love, definitely could be a love coming in for you. I feel like this would be a very big picture person. Again, if this person isn't an Aquarius, they might have an Aquarius in their chart, obviously, Virgo, and that could be a clue for you. But even if they don't, with the star card, usually star card people, it's like, number one, you might see this person as a star. That doesn't mean they're famous. It just means you see them as special. But number two, they're usually big picture people. The star's like having a bird's eye view. And so that might be a clue. Like if you're dating or if you've been meeting people, it's like maybe one of those people is more big picture. Maybe they focus on the big picture more, but definitely could be love. Your outcome is the Wheel of Fortune, so which is amazing. Definitely could be some sort of change in your fortunes here, Virgo. But I think the change in your fortunes is going to come through taking a small step that's like leads to a breakthrough or this big leap or whatever's going on here. And so I really like that. I also think that you need to take your recognition to like a whole new level. Is pop into my head. Like for those of you, and I know I talk about this all the time, but it's critically important. It's like people like I actually had someone comment on my Virgo video from last week or whatever, saying that I said the same thing in the past 4 videos. So I took all 4 of those videos, I ran them through ChatGPT to point out all the differences to this person and pasted it in their comments. I'm petty like that, right? So I had to prove to that person that actually 2 of those readings had literally I repeated nothing from any of those videos. One of them I had a similar theme, and that theme was the recognition thing, right? So that is definitely a theme for you, Virgo. And again, if you can't pay attention to everything else I say, I don't know what to tell you, but what I would say is that this is a theme that you're going to need to pay attention to, is recognition. But it's like I think it would be a great time for Virgo to stand out in a way that like really expresses yourself. It's like, think about like a crazy artist. It's those like a lot of famous artists and stuff, they're very eccentric, right? But I'm not saying you should fake it. It should be real. Like you can't just like dress like a crazy person and expect this to work, right? But what I am saying is like I think there are little things that maybe you could express that could be a point of view or a different way of looking at things, and like those are the things that could help you stand out, right? And that's what I would really pay attention to with that Wheel of Fortune for sure, and everything else, and also your past readings that didn't repeat themselves, proven, right? And speaking of AI, again, the only thing that can make you stand out in the age of AI is like, having your own thing, right? Doing your own thing. So there you go. I would stand out for something unique. With the High Priestess and the Six of Swords, you have the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is carrying a heavy burden. But to me, the Ten of Wands is a good card. He's about to reach his home in the background of the Ten of Wands, so he is almost done with his journey. And I feel that for some of you is that like you are almost done with this long journey. With the Justice card, you have the Queen of Cups. I do think with the High Priestess as well that it would be an amazing time for you to follow your heart, or to make sure that you are listening to what your heart is guiding you towards, your inner voice. Because if you do that, things will go very well. And that's what I would do here. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Yes, straightforward, diligent work. It's like if you put the work in, you will get the results. Eight of Pentacles is material success on the horizon. He's working on one thing. I kind of do feel that you could be committing to yourself to one thing. Queen of Wands, star to that Page of Cups. Doesn't even have to be, not even a person. I'm not even talking about that. Again, I think you're committing to like a leap of faith that you're going to be taking, or a small step that is a leap actually, you just don't realize it yet. And the Eight of Pentacles says, make that your focus. That's what I did with this channel. Actually, my channel was stuck for the first like 4 years of my channel. I was stuck at like 40,000 subs. It wasn't until I made this my focus and I stopped doing like a billion other things that I was doing that this channel really took off, right? And so it's like sometimes I think we do have to do that. Like we have to draw our focus, or we need to make sure we're not getting distracted, right? With the King of Pentacles, you have the Five of Swords. Yeah, Five of Swords can represent like a separation, which you have the... I thought you had the Five of Swords twice. Am I making that up? I guess so. But, you could be separating away. Oh, no, you had it here, right? Yes. Okay. I thought so. I knew you had it twice. Obviously, you could be going through a separation, and obviously, if that message is for you, you already know that you're going through it. If not, this could be saying that after you've gone through a separation in the past and now you're attracting something new, which is kind of what I feel for most of you. With the star, you have the moon. The star is like having a North Star. It's like having a goal, that one thing that you set out to achieve. The moon is kind of like fears, fantasies, illusions. It can say you're not seeing things clearly. With the moon, we have to set out to accomplish something. It's part of the fool's journey. He has to go from here to here, and those mountains, kind of represent an obstacle, but they also represent an achievement. So again, a lot of you are kind of like doing something where it's like you're not sure what the outcome is going to be, which we've kind of already said, but you need to like take that small step anyway, is what I feel. With the Seven of Cups, you have two cards. You have the Four of Wands and the Nine of Cups. Yeah, you could definitely be getting something you wish for here. Seven of Cups, he's like fantasizing or dreaming of those 7 cups that exist above his head. But, the Nine of Cups can say you've asked for options, and the Four of Wands just says commit, right? I think the whole entire reading basically is saying commit to one thing. And I'm not even though the Four of Wands can be marriage, and sure, there could be marriage here in this reading, I think that this is more talking about that small step. Like, again, if you're starting a new project or a new idea, it's like I'm telling you right now that it's going to be bigger than you think, right? So I would expand it. Again, I think one of the easiest things to do is what I do with YouTube. Is like I go on YouTube every single morning. I look for a new video about YouTube. I learn something new, and I implement it as an experiment. You literally can see me do this on my channel. People ask me all the time. I'm like, it's not rocket science. You can literally just look at my channel and look at what I'm doing, because I run all the experiments right in front of your face, right? And so, again, that's literally what I do, is I just go do research. So whatever you care about or whatever it is that you're trying to make successful in your life, I would just like learn one new thing every day and implement it into your life. If it works, great, do it. If it doesn't work, great, stop and do something else, right? That's it. Like those are literally my rules, right? Is if I do something, I try it a few times. If it works, great. Then I keep doing it. If it doesn't work, I try something else, right? Plain and simple. And that's what I would do here. Definitely could be marriage potential for those of you that want love. With the Five of Swords and the Two of Cups, you have the Three of Pentacles. I think this is what's changing. It's like, I think that some of you have maybe dated people in the past that just aren't in alignment with what you want. I think that a lot of you are attracting people who are more in alignment with what you want out of life. To me, the Three of Pentacles is like a true teamwork card. To me, it says you could be attracting a person where you really end up working on a team with that person, which is great. So definitely better. With the Page of Cups, you have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is about going on an adventure. I do think it is an amazing time for adventure. You always get fire with me as well, Virgo. So, it could be any sign literally that's coming in for you. But the Page of Wands is about following your enthusiasm and your optimism. So I think, this is true for everyone right now. I think the universe is trying to get us to bring more enthusiasm and optimism into the world. You have the King of Cups with the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, it could be a water sign as well, but really, we have the King and Queen of Cups here, which is a perfect match. So definitely could be divine counterparts if you're looking for a connection that's coming in for you here, Virgo. It's clear to me. If you don't want love, I feel like this is something that you will love, obviously. You literally have this love card. I'll show you in a minute. You have this broken bridge that says unsuccessful outcome to a problem. It's really funny because, actually, I'll show you at the end. I'm going to pull you an extra card because I feel that this is basically the same thing. You have this bridge. It says successfully overcoming a problem, right? The moon. That is kind of like the moon, this type of energy, because the moon, it's like the fool has no clue where he's going when he starts his journey down the moon. But the moon, comes up, the moon goes down, the sun comes up, right? So it's like the moon can say you are entering into, it's like eventually the sun comes up. Eventually you see things clearly. You could be getting clarity. And it's kind of a weird message, but, that's what I get here. It's like you could be getting clarity on something that you've been unclear about. You have this claw. It says, be careful, do not take risks. Again, I always say I don't like this card right now because I think we are in a time where we have to take risks. But there's a specific type of risk we should be taking, which is we should be taking the risk of exposure. The risk of speaking up and being wrong. Like I've already said to you, the risk of getting recognition on something, that type of risk. You have this dog barking. It says advice from a friend. We see a lot of people in this reading, Three of Pentacles as well, which is like teamwork. So, if you're getting advice or help from friends, I would definitely listen to those people. You have this love card, definitely a lot of love in this reading. And again, even if you don't want a person love, and even if you do, I would be focusing on creating more of a life of love. Like loving yourself, loving the things that you do. It's a great time for that, Virgo. So there you go. You have this light card. It says stepping into new experiences. Yes, definitely. I think there are major changes going on for Virgo at this time. So I don't know. A lot of you are changing. That's it. Looks good, Virgo. I like it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.